I just want it to be cute. I just want it to be fun. I just want it to be Welcome back to my channel. You are watching Sin City. Sometimes I want to hear the ah of the angels, but sometimes I want to hear the beep 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 of the clubs, because you know Sin City is a vibe, but it's also so sweet, like me. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. It feels like it's been a long time since I've been on YouTube, which is not the truth because I have been uploading a video every day for this week, but it's been a long time since I've sat down and filmed a video, and that to me is so ridiculous, but it don't matter. Consistency queens, we are just getting the content out there and we're doing stuff that people want to watch, stuff that people should watch. All right, so I just want to get into a couple of things before I get into the actual video, but I will put a timestamp here for you if you want to just skip over to what the video is actually about. Okay, but let's talk for a second. All right, so I've been gone for a while, aka not recording for a while, because I've been working on a zine. So if you knew, I had a website called Pinnacle Pop, and now it's a zine, right? And a zine is kind of sort of a magazine, but not really. I don't like it when people call it a magazine, because it's not a magazine, bruh. But like, I don't actually care what you call it at this point, as long as you read it. So that's what we were doing, and it came out on the 2nd of March, which was last week Monday, and it's been amazing. I will put the link in the description box for you to read the zine. Please do like. You can't like it. What? Please download it. It is 2 megabytes. Like, I made sure that it's a very small file because I understand that that's a problem. So please do read the zine and share the link. And you know, if you want to keep up with me and everything that I'm doing, then just follow me on my Instagram and my Twitter. Anyway, I posted an Instagram story where I had literally just finished planning out an essay, and I was like, ooh, I've totally figured out how to finesse my essays. And I was like, I don't know if y'all want a video on it though. And then a lot, like, guys, I had so many DMs of people asking me to do this video. So I hope that every person who asked me to do this video is watching this video, because if you're not, bro, what the fuck? Okay, like, what? But like, I know y'all here. We're gonna get to it. I have my notes here. Are you gonna focus? I have my notes here. These are the notes. Actually, if you can see this, I suggest you screenshot this. You know, the red might not really show. My handwriting is a little weird, but like, if you can, screenshot this. But I'm gonna be reading off of this because I want you to finesse your university essays, your varsity college, whatever, wherever you at and you gotta write essays. Bro, this is for you. But I'm gonna have to wear my glasses because I can't see. I can't read without my glasses on. So yeah, let me just move this hair out of the way. You know, I like to not put, oh, dirty. I have 7 tips, but to me the last 5 are the most important. The first 2 are like but I still think it's worthy for me to bring them up because I still think people tend to get this wrong. And the very first one is read the question and let it guide you. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people read the question one time, and they think, I got it. You don't got it. You don't got it. You've missed very important things. And when I say read for understanding, but also read and look for the direction words. And these things are things like argue, discuss, and critically discuss. First one is argue, which means make a stand. Yes, no, maybe. That's it. That's what it wants you to do. But you cannot argue something. You can't say, here's 1 and 2. And you say you want 1. You cannot argue a whole paper just talking about 1. You have to talk about 1 and all its components, what it is, what it means, and everything. But you also talk about 2, right? And then once you said 1 and 2, that's when you come in and you say, and I like 1 because the pros of one compared to the cons of two are this and this and this and that and that. You have shown the person that this is why you have chosen the thing that you've chosen. Same thing goes for maybe. Maybe is even better, I tend to think. But that's also because my brain is not an absolute person. I don't think in absolutes. I don't think in complete. I want one. I want two. I tend to be like I'm in the middle ground. I think maybe if we take a little bit from there and you take a little bit from there, you know. And I've learned that when I kind of do the middle ground thing, I get higher marks, because what happens is I'm also showing that I understand the concepts. And I understand the better pieces of each concept and the not so great pieces of each concept. But again, you can't argue for something you don't believe in. So just because it's easier, well, to me, you get better marks when you are in the middle. But if I'm not in the middle, me personally, I will fail to argue that point. Discuss is purely just explain. Explain the theory. Explain the facts. Give the facts. Just give the facts. Give the facts. That's it. Discuss is simple. Just one, these are the facts of one. These are the facts of two. Although, you also have to remember it's not a summary. Alright? So you need to put it in your own words. Make it make sense in your own way. Because sometimes when you do research, the research doesn't flow into each other. It's very like, theorist 1, theorist 2, theorist 3. Don't do that, bro. Make things make sense. If theorist 1 is saying this thing and theorist 2 is saying this thing and these two things kind of link up, then write it in that order. Say, theorist 1, Karl Marx says da 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 da. Similarly. What the hell, y'all? It's not coming out. But you know what I'm saying. Karl Marx says da 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 da. Similarly to Max Weber. Let them link. You see, you're showing an understanding that you can see that this is what this person's saying and this is what this person's saying, and here's the link between the two of them. Okay? I hope that helps. Then, critically discuss. And this one, critically discuss, kills a lot of people. It whips their asses. And it's not that difficult. I know, critically, you think critically means you must criticize. And by criticizing, you must find all the bad things about a thing. No. What they are saying to you is, take this thing, explain it, but also apply it. Right? So you are critical. So if the theory says, if you take a bottle of water and you pour it on clothes, the clothes are going to be wet, right? Then you explain that. You explain the logic behind it. The logic behind it is that water is wet, and once it comes into contact with the dry thing, then the thing that was now dry will now become wet. That's the theory. You've explained it, right? Then comes the apply part. And the apply is, okay, but you know, yes, this theory works if I pour the water on a cloth. But it doesn't really work in the same way when I pour water on a concrete surface, because the concrete surface doesn't absorb the water. Instead, the water just runs off of it. Do you get what I'm saying? You see, that's how you apply. You kind of say, this in this sense it can work, and in this sense it might not work. Or whatever, just like apply the thing. It's like fitting things into boxes, okay? It's like you have to figure out what it is that you're trying to say. But with these three things, the very most important thing is for you to give examples. Because I believe that examples are what bloop a paper. I think if you're just going to put theories and explanations and everything in a paper, I think you could score yourself a good 65 to 70. But you will not see an A without examples. You will not see an A without examples. Why? Because examples show that you understand. Examples show that you know what is being talked about. Examples make your argument or your discussion or your assessing of the theory more relevant and more realistic, because they can now see that when you said the theory said water makes things wet, you understood that, but you were able to think ahead and say, but when it comes to concrete, the water's not absorbed. Now they realize, oh, but this person realized that the thing this thing about this water situation is the absorption of the water that makes the thing wet. I know it's kind of a weird example, but I'm just trying to show that examples just bring examples will blow you into an A. I strongly, if you make good examples, critical examples, examples that make sense, try to make them as simple as possible. Don't go and talk about, yo, but if you pour the water in space, whoa. Do you live in space? Have you been to space? So why are you talking about space? Talk about concrete. The concrete that when you step outside your house, or when you step outside the mall, or you step outside wherever, it's there. Just be, okay? Then number 2, and it sounds like, what, are you serious? Like, really? It is to remember essay structure. Intro, body, conclusion. Your intro is your who, what, when, where, and how. Simple, you know? That's your intro. That's your intro. Okay, obviously it doesn't have to tick all 5 of these boxes, but surely you must have at least 3, right? 3 of those at least in your introduction. And what that does is it gives direction. It gives direction to your paper. It gives direction to what are you going to talk about? What are you going to say about what you're going to talk about? And what is the structure of the thing that you're going to talk about? Body. The body is where you talk about your who, what, where, when, why, in depth, right? And I think that's when, for me, subheadings become very important. So this is an example of a paper I had to write a few weeks ago, and if you really see, are we gonna here, you see, that's a subheading: define colonialism, define post-colonial theory, and then what links to what I'm talking about. Now, depending on, for example, I know that when you do media studies, they love subheadings, they enjoy them, but some people just want full papers. Keep them there for your planning and your writing of your paper, but then delete them when you have to submit your paper. Simple, easy, just like section your paper out. And then the conclusion. The conclusion is when you're like, this paper has shown that my who, what, when, where, why, how, has whatever you said in the body. No new information in the conclusion. Don't play yourself like that. Do not play yourself like that. Some people truly put new, and I get it. You want to be like, ta-da! But the thing is, when you give a person a point, you want to expand on it, but you can't expand in your conclusion. Rather, find a place to put it up there. I know we all have strokes of geniuses, especially in like. Don't do that thing. We're gonna go into the real tricks now. This is how you score an A. Or a better mark than you usually do. I don't know if you might score an A, because obviously there are variables. I've been writing for like 10 years. The first one is using old references. And this means you have to use your old essays. Now, baby, whether you're keeping the physical copy or the digital copy of your essay, please keep one of these copies. They will come in hand right here. Okay, so before I further go on, I write out all my essays by hand. I know that's a me thing. That's because when I have to type, my brain works a little slower, so it's better if I'm actually just typing and copying from a paper. So that is a me thing. You don't have to do that, trust. But I want to show you that this is an essay that I wrote by hand. Do you see the little yellow bits? The little yellow bits I have going on here, those are my references. But let me tell you something. None of the references, well, let me not say none of them. Some of them are brand new. Some of them are brand new. Like I got them this year. I got them from my studying and whatnot. But you see here, this thing is called possible references. Possible references. What happened was I keep all my papers, all of them. I went every time, even this paper when it gets back to me, I will also take that copy and highlight all the references, just the references, like the in-text referencing, right? Then when I have to write a paper, I always think back to other papers I've written, and you always remember the little things. You always remember, I remember this thing and it falls into this paper, but I can't remember who said it. I don't know where to find it, and you don't want to paraphrase it wrong. That's what your old essays are there for. Go back to your old essays and use those same references. Here, I went back. I had time. This was a very difficult essay. It was a very extensive essay. I had to do a lot of research. I went back and I had to go and write the points. Okay, I had to go and write the points that I thought fit into this particular essay. These are the points. That's the reference. The part in red is the reference. These are the points. That's the reference. These are the points. That's the reference. And it feels like a waste of time, but it took me 30 minutes. And out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 references, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 out of 13 possible references. And that made my paper. That made my paper. And these are from old papers that I wrote. Why? Because university is a build-up of information that you've had. And the thing is, that paper has been marked. And if you are happy with the mark you got, you know that the information you put in there has been good, was useful. Why would you not do it again? Right? The second one is use references in articles provided. So if I give you this paper as a reading, let's pretend I'm your lecturer and I give you this paper as a reading, like this paper as a reading, then I am the reference, right? But then inside my own paper, I have other people's references. Bro, I know they say don't do it, but one, they're not gonna know. But also two, they can't prove that you didn't read it. This reference in here, what is it? O'Shaughnessy and Stadler 2002. And I said, they said whatever. If you want to be sure, go online, put in the reference that was there, and then put in the same to similar wording that was in the article. Find it just to make sure that it was a thing that truly was said and does exist. And then use that as your reference, okay? So in the paper you were given, use the references that are in that paper too. Find the summaries of extra readings and reference. So, and this normally starts to happen in the middle of like from second semester, first year, all the way until you finish. They tell you, here's your course pack. Here's your course pack. But then also, you have to go find these articles and read them yourself. I'm here to tell you, they're not wrong. They can help you. But I only use them when I need a reference or I absolutely don't know what the hell is going on. I take that, I go into Google Scholar. I say, whoever, like whatever the title and the author is of that particular thing, then I look for the summary. The summary will give you an example and explanation of everything that person is saying, and then you can use that information, put it in your paper, and reference it. Getting references is not as difficult as people think it is. The fourth one is don't use contractions. And this increases your word count. Because here's what happens. If you're like me, and you get straight to the point, and you give straight to the point facts, straight to the point examples, you don't run out of words. You end up sometimes having too little words. Don't use contractions. So instead of saying don't, say do not. Okay? Don't use contractions. Don't use because. You can say thus. Well, I mean, that's still one word. But like, find a way. Oh, due to. You see, that's still because. But like, you're just. And what that does is, one, it makes your paper look real fancy. Something about these, I don't understand these lecturers, bruh. They are so impressed when you say things like do not instead of don't. My nigga, it's the same damn thing. But it's fine. I'll give you what you want. What contractions do, honey, is they increase the word count and they also make you sound real posh. Make you sound like you're talking out your nose, yeah? Yes, so you're sitting at the clinic and it's gonna come. You just like, you know, it's just like, I don't know why they want you to do that, but it's fine because it gives you more words. And if you don't trust me, take an old paper that you've done, if you still have the digital copy, and if you use Microsoft Word, go onto Microsoft Word and do that find and replace thing. Replace all your don'ts, your won'ts. Replace them with not, will not, do not. You will see. The inverse of this trick also works. If your word count is 2,000 words and you have 2010, 2000, over 2000 words, and it's like a lot. Turn all your do nots and will nots and whatever's into don't, into won't. Yes, it will irk the lecturer, but it will bring your word count down. The last one, and I think this is what makes your paper go bloop, 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 bloop. One fact, one example. You heard me. One fact, one example. Done. You will reach your word count. You will show explanation. Obviously, if the fact is wearing glasses helps you see better, an example is in this person who's wearing glasses and now sees better, right? That's very basic. But if your fact is a very extended fact, like, girl, I don't know. If your fact is a very extended fact, don't contract it. Don't make it smaller just so that you can put an example there. No, explain the fact in full. Either you explain it in full theoretically or you explain it in full using the example. Obviously, when you use the example, when you explain the thing with the example, it depends on how you feel and how you want to write it. But either way, it works very well. Sometimes you must explain the entire theory and then say, an example of this is, but the only time I suggest you do that, when you explain the entire theory and then give an example, is if that example ticks many boxes within that theory. If the theory has 4 components and your example only touches on one of the components, what about these 3? What about these 3? Rather say 1, here's the example. 2, here's the example. 3, here's the example. 4, here's the example. Or, here's my example, and it clicks here, and it clicks here, and it clicks here, and it clicks here. With that being said, because I know referencing kills everybody, it took me a very long time to learn how to reference. I have downloaded a referencing software. I'm yet to master it. Have I started using it? Yes, but I'm yet to master it. Once I have mastered it, I will make a full tutorial on how to use the referencing software. I hope to be able to do it in the next 2 weeks, but I have a lot going on, so I'm not certain if I'll be able to, but it will be here at some point, okay? It will be here because referencing software does make life a lot easier. So if you like this video, don't forget to comment and tell me what you liked about this video, or if you have any of your own tricks and tips, put them in there as well. But guys, this is the only way we're all gonna pass. I want all of us to walk across that stage one day, okay? And I want us to all do it as quickly as possible with the best grades as possible. So if you have your own tricks and tips that have helped you with your essay writing, definitely do that. I really hope that you liked this video. I really hope that you are subscribed by now. If you're not, bro, what you doing? What you doing? Why ain't you subscribe, baby? Why ain't you subscribe, baby? I'm playing, baby. Just go subscribe, bro. I'm just playing.